All right, Mr. Taliaferro TV, the second part of that Carmelo Anthony trade to the Atlanta Hawks is Dennis Schroder actually moving over to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, this is a real basketball move. The Thunder made this move for a reason. They could have waived and stretched Carmelo Anthony, but the fact that they went out and added a player and added cap to their, obviously it's less cap on their books than what Carmelo Anthony would be giving them, but it's still adding cap, bringing back cap in a small market, right? So the fact that they brought in Dennis Schroder tells me they're trying to win this thing next year, and they're going to get a guy who could probably take some pressure off of Russell Westbrook dribbling the basketball. Now, I think as basketball fans, we've all thought about the possibilities of Russell Westbrook playing the 2 guard in regards to him kind of letting others put him in positions. I'm going to be honest, Russell Westbrook is one of the best athletes I've ever seen in my life, but he does not make great decisions with the basketball. Now, 90% of the time, Russell Westbrook going into the lane, driving, getting that mid-range jumper off is going to produce for you. But for that other 10%, especially in crucial moments, you might want Russell Westbrook to give Paul George the pass, to make the dump down to Steven Adams, to not pull up for 3 and maybe go through someone else. That's probably one of the reasons why Kevin Durant left the Oklahoma City Thunder in regards to winning. Russ does not make a lot of, he doesn't make the best play that could be made on the court. That doesn't mean that Russ can't score. He can't make that big basket. But if I got Kevin Durant and James Harden on the court, and that's what Russell Westbrook did have at one time, I don't want him taking end of the game decisive threes. James Harden, Kevin Durant, 2 of the purest scorers we've seen in this game. I kind of want them taking those late game shots, and I think that was something that frustrated Kevin Durant. Now, Dennis Schroder brings a different element to this Thunder team that, you know, he's kind of Reggie Jackson-like. I think he's a better shooter than Reggie Jackson. I might take Reggie Jackson as a better overall player. It's close. They're very close. But I remember when Russ would let Reggie Jackson play a little bit on ball. We'll see how it works with Scott Brooks. That was or Billy Donovan. That was obviously under Scott Brooks when they had Reggie Jackson. We'll see how it works with Billy Donovan and if he can figure it out. I would like to see it go Schroder at the 1, Russ at the 2, depending on who they're playing. PG at the 3, or maybe you go Roberson at the 3, PG at the 4, Adams at the 5, or maybe you go PG at the 3, Jeremy Grant at the 4, and Adams at the 5, or shoot, maybe you go PG at the 3, Nerlens Noel at the 4, Adams at the 5. Depending on who you're playing, I think they can work with some things out here, and I think maybe starting Dennis Schroder some nights could work. Depends on who you play. Against teams like Boston, against teams like Golden State, we will see. You can look at it from both ways, right? If Russ has the luxury of having a Dennis Schroder on the court, a guy like Steph Curry will have to defend more. But in return, Klay Thompson, you know for a fact, is going to be locked in on Russell Westbrook the entire basketball game. So you can look at it from both ways. I just hope Russell Westbrook is willing to allow somebody to come in and take that basketball. By the way, a lot of people don't know this. Russell Westbrook needs a knee surgery. You know, he can play through it, but at some point in time, he's going to either need the knee drained or surgery. He's put a lot of mileage on that body. He plays above the rim. Most of his career, he's played above the rim. He's going to need a knee surgery in the next couple of years. He might can prolong that if he does not have the basketball in his hand and he starts to become a little bit less aggressive for the entire 48 minutes and, you know, allows a guy like Dennis Schroder to make plays. For all intents and purposes, Dennis Schroder has been playing a lot of meaningless basketball for the Atlanta Hawks. He should be ready to go. He's about to enter the prime of his career. It's going to come down to Russell Westbrook and his mentality. It's always been that way. Now, how this brother convinced Paul George to stay long-term, sign a new 4-year deal is above my pay grade. But kudos to him. Hopefully, he promised Paul George some change. I think one of the biggest things Russ could do in regards to changing was okaying the Oklahoma City Thunder to get rid of Carmelo Anthony. Those shots are going to make a difference because there will not be a Carmelo Anthony there anymore. I think just naturally getting rid of him is going to make them better because now Russell Westbrook and Paul George don't feel like they have to get Melo involved. That was becoming a burden on them, feeling like Melo deserves 10, 15, 20 shots a game. He didn't need it. All right. So the Thunder give up on Melo. I think that's the best thing Russ could sign off on. And if he could allow Dennis Schroder into the mix, that would be great as well, and trust Schroder to make the right plays. Now, Schroder's got to show Russ he can make the right plays. We've seen in the past, if Russ don't like what you're doing, he's give me that basketball. You know, he's going to do that. But hopefully Dennis Schroder can gain the trust of Russ and PG, and he can become the primary ball handler some nights, and that would take a lot of onus off Russ. And when he gets that rock, he can attack. Another thing, we haven't seen Russ attack from sides and going that way. We've, generally speaking, seen him attack from the top of the perimeter. So we'll see if he's able to attack from that corner. His game just is better when he's in the middle of the court. And we'll see if he can, you know, adjust his game and attack from the side like a shooting guard or small forwards around the league do night in and night out. I'm excited. Atlanta Hawks trade Dennis Schroder to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and Carmelo Anthony will be getting traded back and returned to Atlanta. Please check out my other video on that. And again, at that point, Atlanta will waive and stretch Carmelo Anthony. Welcome to the summer of 2018. NBA offseason never ceases to amaze me. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now, you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty.